Welcome to our world. Won't you come on in? Waiting just for you. Welcome to our world.
Welcome to Friday, everyone, and welcome to
This Week in History.
That's right, This Week in History.
Was I
think
supposed
my
to say
favorite,
that?
No, you weren't.
Okay.
I think because that's where I play the thing. My favorite part is that no matter how many times we've done this, every time I pause there, you always are like panicking.
I'm not panicking.
Yes, you are. You're like, what am I supposed to say? Why is she stopping?
No. That's a look of excitement, and I'm wondering what it is we're doing.
As though we don't do the same thing
I
every
thought you were
single
going to
week.
say, welcome to the blend.
Well, no. Why would I say welcome? Forget it. We're moving past this.
It's the blend.
Since we did not do This Week in History last week, I think for this, it's going to be a This Month in History because I don't feel like reading 2 weeks. So I'm going to read until I get bored. And then next week we'll catch up on some more. Okay. In 1976, U.S. Naval Academy inducts its first women. That's exciting.
Wow, 1976.
Yes, the Naval Academy.
That's surprising.
Do you know when the Naval Academy was founded, though?
Oh, geez. It had to be, I'm going to, 1801.
1845. So it literally took over 100 years for women to be accepted into the Navy, which is insane. All right.
I don't think many women, at least early on, were like,
well, you wouldn't.
wanted to get into the Navy.
Dude, don't tell me how women feel. 1912, Native
Would
American.
a woman really want to be on a boat with all those young men?
1912, Native American athlete Jim Thorpe triumphs at Olympic Games. That's exciting.
Cool. What year was that?
1912. We know all about Jim Thorpe.
We know all about 1912, too. What else happened in 1912?
I don't know.
Titanic.
Oh, cool.
Was he on the Titanic?
1918, Ernest Hemingway is wounded during World War I. Aw. He was severely wounded while carrying a companion to safety on the Austro-Italian front during World War I. He was working as a Red Cross ambulance driver, and he was decorated for his heroism and sent home.
Did another soldier carry him and the wounded companion to safety then?
It doesn't specify, but that's a great question you ask.
Bigger, stronger guy.
1850, President Zachary Taylor dies unexpectedly. Do you know what his illness was?
Death.
That's not an illness. Do you know what his illness was?
Tuberculosis.
No.
Darn it. I don't know.
Do you know why you don't know? Because nobody knows. Historians still debate the exact cause of his death. Nobody knows.
How old was he?
He was,
94.
It doesn't specify.
No, I'm kidding.
But
I can't believe. Now, why would that? So it has a fact there, but it doesn't tell us how old he was.
He attended a public event where he reportedly ate a large quantity of cherries and drank iced milk. And after returning to the White House, it is said that the president drank several glasses of water. Soon after, Taylor began suffering from symptoms including nausea, severe cramping, diarrhea, and dehydration, which eventually led to his death on the evening of July 9th.
Maybe it was some kind of food poisoning?
I don't know.
Or just poisoning?
Food poisoning, typhoid fever, or claim that combining highly acidic cherries with fresh milk could cause gastroenteritis. That's crazy, which was listed as the official cause of death. That's crazy.
Okay.
So you could kill someone with cherries and fresh milk. Who knew? That's crazy.
Put that in your holster for some time. You might need that.
1995, Hugh Grant appears on Tonight Show after Hollywood arrest. What was he arrested for? Do you know?
No, I don't know.
Well, you were around.
I wasn't. Do you think I?
So was I, technically.
Does it do I now or ever seem like the person who would follow every detail of Hugh Grant's life?
No, but Mother was, and so the fact that you don't know this is surprising.
That was 1970. What?
1995.
Oh, I thought you said 1970 something.
Maybe I misspoke, but it's 1995. He was arrested with a Hollywood prostitute, is what happened.
Well, there you go.
He was charged with lewd conduct in a public place.
That's why I never liked him. I hate people like that.
However, okay, but so Jay Leno asked about it, and Grant simply responded, quote, "I did a bad thing," to Leno's question. Grant was praised for apologizing for his behavior, in contrast to other scandal-plagued celebrities who often blamed their mistakes on others. The bar is so low.
Exactly. You know, I'm like, no, I just.
Are you all right?
No, but
No.
the human race is pretty disgusting. Okay. Like there are a lot of like just disgusting, degenerate people. I'm not one of them. I do not. Never mind.
All righty. We're leaving this week in history. I've had enough.
Okay.
And we're moving on to
last week in history. Oh, that was last week in history. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. That was this month in history. We're moving on to
Listener feedback. Yeah.
That's right. See, you just did it. You were like, I don't know. Where are we?
I don't remember what's next.
We're in listener feedback.
Okay.
And I want to clarify, there is a lot of feedback from the feminism episodes, which we will not be getting to this week because I like to go in chronological order of when the comments come in. So next week, we will address all of those. And depending on my mood, I will either be really animated and into it, or I'll be like, well, it is what it is.
Well, let me respond then.
No, you can't respond. There's nothing to respond to.
I mean, next week, let me respond.
Anyway, I'll think about it. Okay, so this week's listener feedback. Someone texted us.
Okay.
Oh, I should write. Hold on. What's the texting number again? You can text us at 407-584-7543. And you can also call that number and leave a voicemail, and we will play it on the show with your permission. Okay.
Or not play it without your permission.
So someone texted us. So my husband and I are driving through West Virginia today, and we listened to the pod earlier in the car. A few hours after that, we stopped in a teeny tiny town to get a break from the car and walk around a bit. And what did we see? Toothache Arcade, a dentist shop and arcade. So that's obviously referring to your complaint about that your dentist's office does too much.
Yeah. But that's interesting because the only thing would be better would be a dentist's office and candy shop. Think about it.
That just seems wrong.
No, you're building a business. It'd be like a drug dealer kind of.
I don't like that analogy, but that's a pretty accurate analogy actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. More comments. This was from, this is, you were talking about the hospital and how you wanted to check yourself out and you were annoyed you couldn't.
Yeah.
Someone commented, you can leave, but then your insurance would most likely not pay. Some people do sign themselves out.
Yeah.
But then
which
their
is,
insurance
and I knew
doesn't pay.
that, and I knew that. So that's why, that didn't even cross my mind to do that. I would have to be really bad for me to get to that point. Because even now, I mean, all the bills haven't come in yet, so I don't know what the total amount's going to be.
Oh,
but I have decent insurance, and it's still going to be, over $1,000 for sure.
Yes. Okay. And the rest of our comments from this week are going to be referring to our therapy podcast. People had a lot of thoughts about that as well.
Yeah.
Someone commented on YouTube, what about talking to God, talking to a priest? It does help a lot, which we did not mention either of those things.
I agree with that. Yeah. Obviously they're going to have a different take on it.
Yes,
and depending
they're a little
on
biased.
Well, no, but depending on your involvement, like if it's already say you go to church regularly and the priest knows you, maybe even help out at the church. It's different than going to talk to a priest that you don't know at all. But that would be similar to doing like a therapist. Other than I'm not saying no.
Though.
Well, I think I'm not positive, but I think priests also in the seminary they do go over some of that, because they have to be careful what they say to people. Obviously,
therapriests, if you
therapy. I'm a therapriest. Okay, if I said that, I would lose the day.
Was that funny? Can you guys tell me, was that funny or not? I was feeling it, but now it sounds stupid when you say it, so I don't know.
Yeah. You just think everything I say sounds stupid.
No, I don't. You've won the day multiple times
Okay.
for funny things you said. Okay, someone texted us and said, I agree with a lot of what Jim is saying about therapy. It just seems like therapists went to school and learned what to say out of a textbook in response to different situations. There's no heart or soul in that, whereas friends and family who actually know you, and especially your loved ones who you may have lost or are struggling with in some way, can understand the situation more deeply. It just feels more authentic that way. That being said, I also agree with Samantha that those of us who haven't truly given therapy a chance don't really have a leg to stand on. Also, I definitely agree with the disposable income thing. Haha. I don't remember what that part was, but that's that.
I think people with broken legs don't have a leg to stand on either.
Do you have an actual response to that or no? Therapriest was funnier than that. Okay.
No, I agree. I was going to say a paraplegic, but that sounded really
That sounds
really
awful.
bad.
That sounds really bad.
If your legs are broken, they at least can, fix. My only thought is, on like Grok now, and they've had this since Grok 3, they have like the different personas, and one of them is not a therapist, but it talks to you like a therapist.
Sure.
And the thing, it probably says a lot of what a therapist should say.
I'm sure it does.
But when you talk to it, it's not an actual person. And I'm thinking if you have something that you feel you need therapy for, or at least you need to talk to someone for, I think the person is what counts. Like, in other words, if I talk to you, I'm not just listening to what you're saying. I'm looking at your reaction and how you're saying it, right? And so I don't think you would get that from like an AI.
So assuming that all of these things are useful, you would say that going to an actual therapist is better than talking to an AI?
It probably depends on the person, and I mean the person that's seeking therapy and the therapist. You know how some people that just seem very empathetic, like genuinely empathetic. I'm not talking about like a fake empathy. I'm talking about, and there aren't a lot of people that I think really are like this, where they just have that genuine empathy. And I think that I think you obviously can't get that from an AI. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe at some point, or maybe as these things, where these AI models are at now, maybe if you're talking to one long enough, you feel like it's real, but I don't know.
I was not laughing at what you were saying. I was thinking, because my arm's starting to hurt from holding this microphone up, and I was thinking how nice it must be for you to have something to rest it on.
As I slouch in my chair.
Yeah, and it's just like on your stomach. Okay, anyway, this person also commented or also texted and said that they like the alternative sample intro for the airing of Grievances much better, because I was using the if you have grievances, and I'm sure you have. And I went back to, because originally I had used the George's father one.
Yeah.
Where he says, I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. And this person in their text said that they prefer that one. So I suppose I'll use that one now.
That was definitely more well known.
Well, yeah, but the other one has grievances in it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. I
think you can mix them up too.
Yeah. Okay, so this is another comment on the therapy one. I think we all have skewed opinions of therapists. I believe some just milk it and are simply playing a friend role knowing their patient will continue to pay. But I also believe some are actual good, empathetic people who want to help others. In terms of dealing with the death of a loved one, of course the therapist can't speak to them the same way you would, and they can't actually relate to you, but that's not why you should go to therapy. You go for help on how to cope/deal with those situations. This is your first time losing a spouse, but this is their 1,000th time they've been through this with a patient. And maybe even have experienced losing a spouse too, but they know what works and doesn't work with a large amount of different people. But you as a first-timer have no idea what works and doesn't work. Some things work for some people that don't work for others, but maybe in their research and learning, they can safely conclude this one thing doesn't work for anyone. But how are you, a first-timer, supposed to know that? But also, they might open your mind to something you've never even considered, something that would bring a person back up to 100 or even 90. So they're not living the rest of their life at 40 because you think it'll never get better than this. Just because you got through something without therapy doesn't necessarily mean you didn't need therapy. It also doesn't conclude that you're well. I completely agree with this person. And that's the whole point that I was trying to make.
I don't disagree with that. The only thing I'm thinking about, like the thing of, okay, this is your first time losing a spouse, but maybe they've been through this with people like 1,000 times before. And again, this depends a lot on the therapist in this case. But I feel like they could almost become like robotic, where they've been through this so many times before, they've seen it, and it almost becomes like an AI, because an AI, if you just want the answer, this is the best way to deal with this, it could tell you that.
I understand what you're saying, but I also think there's, and I don't like the word robotic necessarily, but I just feel like if you have someone that's coming in going through a great loss or a huge thing that they're going through, they're very emotional. And so for you to not show emotion and to be like as stable as possible, and in your head, you're like, I know exactly how I'm going to try to help this person get through this. And for you to like know that would be comforting for me coming in as an emotional wreck.
Oh, I
to
see what
see
you're saying,
someone
yeah.
that's like, I know exactly how we're going to do this, and I'm going to be the calm, calculated one, and you be the emotional one, because that's what you need to be right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I like a lot of this stuff, I think to myself, right? People have been dealing with this for thousands of years.
Thousands.
Many thousands of years.
It doesn't mean they can't improve upon things.
No, I didn't say that they couldn't, but I just feel I don't feel like every crisis in someone's life they necessarily need a therapist,
I don't think so
that
either.
it would, or that it would possibly help. Maybe it would.
I just think
our
specific example of death of a spouse, that qualifies as a pretty big life event, and
yeah,
I think
but
that's
everybody,
different.
I shouldn't say everyone goes through it. Anyone that's married and isn't the first spouse to go has to go through that. So it's not an
Yes,
uncommon thing.
But but there's also the difference, and not that we have to harp on this because I would like to continue, but there's also the difference in how people lose spouses. If you lose a spouse when you're both 90 and one of them just passes away naturally in their sleep, that's much different from what you experience.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
There's much more trauma in one of those than the other.
I agree with that, but it's still, I don't know. I shouldn't even say I agree with that. The answer should be, I don't know. Because if you're that person that's 90 years old, that maybe they've been married to someone for 60, 65 years, to tell them, well, it's much easier for you. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it's not.
I'm not saying it's easier. I'm saying it's different.
It's different. Well, my take on it, okay, like obviously we don't agree on this. I could see therapy, God, when you hear some of these horrendous things where someone loses, say you have a family of 4, 2 parents, 2 kids, that 3 of them are killed.
Like Frank
One
Castle
of them survives.
when he had his whole family killed in front of him.
Yeah, like that. No, I could see that in that case, and I would not, I could completely understand that someone needing
Yeah, but do you
therapy
not
for that, because
I
it's
think
hard.
you don't see, though, that people looking in on your situation would say the same thing about you.
I don't know. I think this is a generational thing. And like I said, this is my take. I don't think other people that are in my generation have the, they have the opinion that automatically, okay, because of this situation, really you should
That's not what I said.
You should talk to a therapist. Well, what did you say
All
then?
right. No, we're done talking about this. Anyway.
No, what did you say? Because you can't just say that's not what I said and then not say what it is that you said.
I'm not saying automatically every single person, if something traumatic like this happens, that they should be like, well, off to the therapist. That's not what I'm suggesting. What I think bothers me in this whole conversation with you is that you think that you were completely fine and you handled this as well as you possibly could have, and you never needed therapy, and you're just emotionally superior to
No, I don't. I know.
but
No.
that's how
I
it
don't
comes
think I'm
off,
emotionally superior.
because here's the thing, and this is what, and I don't want to talk about this because I feel like, first of all, I said this last week or whenever this was, 2 weeks ago, and I also feel like I don't there's no reason to continue like pushing this
Well, that was my
specific
point.
issue. But it's like, as someone that was directly involved in all of this, I think it would have been very helpful for you to go, even just to go once or twice to confirm this isn't useful.
I mean, keep in mind, I don't like talking to people I don't know under normal circumstances.
I know.
Okay.
Okay.
So the last thing I want to do is go to someone I don't know and open up about something like this. And obviously, it would be very emotional.
I get it.
So that's all I'm saying.
Okay. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't have gone.
I think this is a case where I think your generation looks at it a different way than my generation. I'm not saying that you're wrong and I'm right, or my generation is right. Like, obviously, if I didn't think I was right, I would have a different opinion, but that's not my point.
Because we are emotionally intelligent enough to recognize when we need help and to ask for it. And as we've discussed in past episodes, you were raised not to feel that way.
Okay, and then we can wrap this up.
On my point, I'm just saying, I don't think it's a weakness thing or look at me and my feelings thing.
No.
I think it's a recognizing when you need help in some aspects.
I'm not saying that, like, obviously, the whole situation, it was a tough time. It wasn't easy. From my standpoint, it's just accepting it's a tough situation. I can't change it. If I could have gone to talk to someone and they could have said, "Oh, here, we just reversed everything that happened.
No, that's not
Everything's
the same
good."
thing. That's not the
I know,
same
but
thing.
my point is nothing else. I hate to say I didn't want to feel better, because that sounds weird. Like, yeah,
but that's not
you want to
even
feel
what
better.
they would try to do with you anyway. They just help you process your emotions. That's all. And you have trouble doing that.
I don't think I do. No,
All right, we're
I
done
don't think
here.
I do. I guess my point is, feeling bad or feeling even depressed is not a problem processing. Like, I completely understood I was depressed. I was, I wasn't happy. I wasn't.
And you could have dealt with all of this in a healthier way. Okay, great. No. Moving on to the airing of grievances.
I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it.
This is one.
I know. Go ahead. There are just some things we'll never agree on, and that's fine.
I had one earlier that I was thinking of.
All right. Well, I was going to say this will also bother you, but you've started doing this now. So this is, as usual, a complaint about you.
Okay.
I hate when people when they're eating something and they've just gotten the food, like they haven't even tried it yet. And they already start putting salt and pepper or hot sauce or whatever on top of it. You haven't even tried it. You don't even know if you're going to like it the way it is. Just take one bite to confirm that it needs the salt or the pepper, and then continue.
I don't put salt on something before I've tasted it.
No, you put pepper on things before you've tasted them.
Well, if I made it, I know what's on it, though.
Well, then why didn't you just season it better?
Because everyone doesn't want the same amount of pepper that I do.
Well, you could have made a separate pot.
Okay, no.
Separate pan.
Okay. Can I bring up?
Well, that used to bother you. It clearly doesn't bother you anymore.
Wait, when people did that?
Yes.
Oh, no, that bothers me too. I thought you were saying that I do that.
Well, you do that.
No, I really don't.
Now.
But
yes, you do.
You accuse me of things like this all the time. That's my grievance.
Nana's making vegetable soup today. Is that what's happening?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's not a grievance, because her vegetable soup is like my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
But whenever she makes it, you always put pepper on it before you taste it.
Yeah, I've never had a time when I've had her vegetable soup, though, when it had too much pepper in it.
Anyway, what's your grievance?
My grievance is chapstick.
Okay.
And in particular, flavored chapstick. Because the whole point of chapstick is to keep your lips. So basically, you don't want to be licking your lips and then they dry out. And so then they have these delicious flavored chapsticks that you put it on your lips and you lick it off, and what a racket. It makes your lips more chapped, so then you use more chapstick. It's a vicious cycle. You just one after another.
I fear this may just be a singular issue.
It's because I'm staring at the tube of chapstick. This is non-flavored that I got at the hospital, by the way.
Are they just handing out chapstick at the hospital?
It's one of the things they give you in your, they have a tube of toothpaste and that generic toothbrush they give you. And there was this chapstick, this is horrible. This has no flavor at all.
Mhm.
but it also isn't particularly moisturizing.
Oh,
So it's like,
sounds great.
why do they advertise always petroleum-free lip balm?
I don't know. Because I thought, isn't Vaseline petroleum jelly?
Yeah. Yes.
Isn't that what because that's what people say. You should put Vaseline on
So
dry things.
petroleum, it's one of those weird things that
How strange.
all of a sudden somebody decides, oh, this isn't good for you. And then they start, it becomes an advertising gimmick.
Another complaint.
Maybe that's why this doesn't work as well as the other chapstick that I have, besides the fact that it's not flavored.
Maybe.
The other one's cherry. I like the taste of my cherry chapstick.
Nope. All right. We're leaving that there. Have a great weekend, everyone. We'll see you on Tuesday.
I kissed a girl and I liked it, but it's the taste of my cherry chapstick. Maybe she liked it. Yeah. Yep.
Note how I set my mic down to signal the ending of the
They
episode.
can't see you.
No, but you can, and I thought you were good at context clues.
You should have slammed the microphone down in disgust.
Why are you trying to make it weird?
I was going to say something, but I can't remember the name of our podcast. Oh, live
this
from the
is
Existential
not-
Crisis Studios in downtown.
That is not good advertising for
Okay.
you to not remember
I know.
our podcast name.
Freakonomics.
Freakonomics Radio. Man, I should listen to some more of those. They're so good.
Existential Crisis Radio. Yeah, I like that. We could have
It's too
callers.
long.
We can have callers live on the air.
I mean, people don't call now, so I don't know what
I can make some up. One of us could disguise their voice. We'll use a voice changer. I can get people to call.
All right.
They keep calling me from that window place, trying to sell me windows. I'll have them call.